I'm Debbie Gordon for ICS. The Inuvialuit Communications Society would like to show you some programs we produced for TAMAPTA since we began on September 18, 1985. TAMAPTA, our program title, means all of us. We have produced many programs which are of interest and involving the Inuvialuit of the Western Arctic. We can't show you everything, but we'll show you some interesting clips.
Inuvialuit children today show their talent in singing and dancing. The programs we've done on them, many people enjoyed. Here are some clips of the children.
You travel along each day. Do you never stop to pray for loved ones you see they can't go on? Do you lend a helping hand, help them to understand? Or would you be the first glass stone?
Older Inuvialuit and our elders have shown us their talent. We'd like to show you a few clips.
Oh, well, you know I can be found sitting home all alone. And if you really love me, won't you please, please telephone? Now don't be cruel to a heart that's true.
The Delta drummers and dancers have been the pride of the Mackenzie Delta for many years. For a period of time, this tradition was fading away. Our elders realized this and started dancing and teaching it to the young again. Here's one of the dances they performed for us. Many Inuvialuit in the NWT are well-known artists. One of these is Agnes Goose of Homan, known as Nanogak. In 1985, she was awarded as Doctor of Humane Arts. She has little stories to go with her art.
very strong.
The bush is
feelings
very important to
the North.
Inuvialuit from the Delta.
In everything
It
I've
is a
ever
year-round
done, whether
hunting,
teaching
trapping,
or
and
working
fishing
for the
ground.
CDC
This
or,
inspires Audrey
with the
Ellerine of
newspaper.
Inuvik in her
I've always
artwork.
tried to somehow get across the feelings that I have for the North, the people of the North, and the struggles that they've gone through to get to where they are so they can be independent. And I think a lot of my inspiration comes from the feelings I have about the North.
William Rubin from Polituck is well known for his skills as a carver. Here's some of his work. Elders are very important. They guide their young in their knowledge and abilities which they have lived. Many stories have been told by them in our programs. Some tell of their experiences in their younger years, some tell of how the North began developing, and some tell of their travels. Tom Alanek, who's no longer with us, told about the first plane that went to a Klavik. Mabel Stephenson of Inuvik shared with us her trip from Coppermine to Kendall Island by dog team. Agnes Nugayok of Homan and Joe Nusselwak of Tuktoyaktuk tell of shamans long ago. Wallace Goose was a well-respected elder from Homan. He passed away in December of '86. In his contribution to the Inuvialuit final agreement, an award was given in his honor. It will be presented annually to people who had given their time and efforts to the Inuvialuit. The first awards were held in Tuktoyaktuk.
Board of Directors of the Inuvialuit Regional Corporation, the recipients of this year's Wallace Goose Award, Agnes Semmler from Inuvik and Nellie Cornier from Tuktoyaktuk.
Profiles of our 6 communities are important to show. Some people have never been to some of these places. The first profile that ICS did was on Homan. It has a population of over 360 who are mainly Inuvialuit. It is located on the south coast of Victoria Island. While we were there, we enjoyed covering their Kingalek Jamboree and made a program of it. Sandra Burns prepared a profile of her hometown, Sax Harbor. Sax has a population of over 200 people who are mainly Inuvialuit. It is located on the south coast of Banks Island.
Inuit na nakaaktok paktuat. Tarangan niyanik inuniak kotivik luget aglan kangma akin mata.
Polituck is one of the smallest communities in the north. Their population is just under 200 people who are mainly Inuvialuit. Stan Rubin, our senior producer, shows us his hometown.
Well, we were isolated those days, but we believed that we were more free, and we survive a lot in land, more than we do today.
Go! Polytech held its first Iqaluit Jamboree in August of '86. Here's some clips.
I don't know how to do it. They learned when around yet.
In the late 1950s, the government thought Aklavik was sinking into the Peel River. Today, its population has grown to over 900. There, they have mixed races of Inuvialuit, Dene, Métis, and white people.
Aklavik was put on the map when the mad trapper of Rat River, Albert Johnson, was hunted down by the RCMP and local people after he was accused of stealing from their trap lines. Johnson, shot during the manhunt, was buried in Aklavik in 1932.
Here are some clips of the Mad Trapper Rendezvous. It is held in Aklavik every spring before the ice breakup.
In first place,
Tuktoyaktuk has changed a lot since the old companies moved in. We take a look at some of these changes and how it affects the lifestyle of the Inuvialuit of Tuk. There they have a population of over 900 people. Tuk is located right on the coast of the Beaufort Sea. Many people attended Tuk's Beluga Jamboree because of the ice road that links Tuk to Inuvik and Aklavik.
Crown of Louis Tapquak, King and Queen, David Lucas Jr., Sharon Grubin.
Inuvik means place a man. It is the home of over 3,000 people of all races. It is a main medical and shopping center for the surrounding communities in the coastal area and the Mackenzie Delta. Sandra Burns talks with longtime resident Freddie Carmichael and former Mayor John Hill.
Inuvik's always been, a transit place where you just get to know people and make some real good friends, and they move on you,
Inuvik just began holding their Muskrat Jamboree again a few years ago. Inuvik is the one who starts off their jamborees first in the spring, and all the surrounding communities follow along. We've also covered On the Land programs. We want to maintain how our ancestors lived off the land long ago to today. The first program we aired, called Delta Ratting, featured two young boys from Aklavik who ran their very own ratting camp for the first time.
The big bus.
Ahin unukla among 7 o'clock among our ilan.
Others were Naluk camp with Charlie and Persis Grubin and family. They stay out at their camp year-round hunting and trapping.
Took 3 October in England, 1936. We went to got caught on Temangani, I was cognate Pangnawan.
Polytech is well known for its Arctic char fishing. Producer Stan Rubin traveled with some of his friends from his hometown on a fishing trip up the Hornaday River. During the months of July and August, many Inuvialuit families traveled to the coast from their communities to hunt the beluga whale. An ICS crew traveled with Big Jim Rogers' family to their whaling camp at Kendall Island. We've shown you our children's talent, but we've done programs of children in education, such as the summer language camp held every summer at Emma Dick's camp. She brings the children there to teach them how to speak their language and live off the land. We brought our cameras into Rosie Albert's Inuvialuit class to give you an insight on how she teaches our children. Another program was Native Education. This gives you an idea of what and how children are taught in our schools.
What we have is some of the parents are not, we may have to educate them to get their child to school. You see a lot of them that send their child out the door and that's it. They don't want to see them till lunchtime or 4 o'clock. We have to get more parents that make sure that their students do attend school. Like education is not just 9 to 5 or 9 to 3:30 or 9 to 4. Education is a whole learning process. It takes place in the home and the school.
We've done educational and informative programs from this area. The Transient Center at Inuvik General Hospital houses Native patients. These patients come in from communities in the Western Arctic for medical reasons. Debbie Gordon talked with Bertha Allen, who's in charge of the place.
After admittance to the hospital, Bertha sits with them. They are registered in and told the rules of the transient.
Bedrooms. We have this office, dining room, or the kitchen, or the living room. It's just smoking area because all the rooms have smoked.
Livelihood of the people.
Inuit in Ethiopia. This featured Mary Lyons, who was COPE's language coordinator, and ICS reporter Dennis Alunik, who went there to represent the Mackenzie Delta region.
Leave with a quote from UNICEF ambassador who has said that we have a war with ourselves, a choice within ourselves. It's a war with indifference, and I hope that all of you watching this program will continue to contribute to famine relief in Africa, anywhere, and not be indifferent to the sufferings of another human being, no matter how far they are.
Young offenders. Any children who get into trouble with the law are sent to Jimmy Maring's camp. There they serve their sentence in learning to survive from the land.
At his camp, Jimmy teaches the boys how to look after firearms and weapons. They are taught how to clean and handle guns, but they are not given ammunition when they are on their own.
The bush wedding. When Mo Hansen and Arlene Prince of Inuvik decided to get married, they chose the bush for their ceremony. It was held at Mo's mother's camp, which is about 70 miles out of Inuvik.
It is a gift of God and a means of His grace in which man and woman...
And it wasn't fair to bring all of his family down there.
Out on the road that lies before me now.
Inuvik people enjoyed an evening of entertainment with the Flying Fathers in February of '86.
This started out in 1963 in North Bay, Ontario. A young guy had lost his eye, so we thought it would be very good to get together a bunch of priests playing hockey against guys that were in worse shape than we were, like cops or radio guys or TV guys or teachers or something like that. So we had a game and we raised $5,000. We gave it to the mother. Mother was very happy because she didn't have the proper insurance. So we thought it was a good gimmick. It was better than bingo. So we continued on to raise money for charity, and that's what we're doing today.
Expo 86 and the Northwest Territories Pavilion was the biggest event for Northerners. An ICS crew went to Vancouver to cover some exciting events.
Yeah, it's been a great summer. Had lots of fun.
I think we're better off.
Fort McPherson held its second annual music festival at Midway Lake. This is a time during the summer where natives get together to show their talent and visit friends and relatives. Here are some clips.
Okay, our next artist is Ursula Vira. A lot of people from McPherson know her.
Delta, land of the endless sky, I'm caught in the rhythm of your ways, your endless nights, your endless days. Oh, Delta, you cause me to lose my mind. The wild geese make my spirits fly, 1,000 lakes reflect the sky. Oh, Delta, you make me feel young and old. I feel your strange religion calling me somewhere deep down in my soul. That's it. I'm sorry. And thank you very much. I'm going to go and have some breakfast now.
It's time that you take inventory of yourself and see what...
In the past couple of years, Native people are taking a fight against alcohol problems in the Western Arctic. Alcohol Awareness Week was held from November 18th to the 26th of 1986. ICS covered the event.
Or do I need to take them at all? Like, I can have just as much fun at a party or a dance sober as I can drunk. At least I remember everybody I've seen, and I know that I haven't, you know, put anybody down or started a fight with anybody sober.
In August of '87, two producers from ICS attended the Inuit Circumpolar Conference held in Kotzebue, Alaska. All Inuvialuit groups that attended performed their different style of dance. The Alaska drummers and dancers. Five young Inuvialuit men have taken a career in the RCMP. Producer-trainer Susan Peffer went to the communities where they worked and covered them.
In the Northwest Territories, or even in Yukon. I thought about going back, right, but it's a long course. It's 6 months, and it's too long to be away from up here in the north.
So, plus, if you do go in the force, then they'd have to transfer you out of the territories, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'll probably get transferred somewhere down south, I guess.
And you're not too excited about something like that?
No, not right now.
Go to Campbell. There are many successful Inuvialuit businessmen in the Western Arctic. We went to Aklavik and talked with David Storr, who runs his own contracting business.
Buck calls his company David Storr and Sons.
Well, they, like I own the heavy equipment, all the loaders and cats and graders, and I probably own a couple of trucks, and they own trucks themselves, like son-in-laws, and my sons, most of them are involved in it. And I've got Billy and Robert, and Richard, he works for us, and Dwayne, he works for us, he's a son of mine. And Bob Hansen, son-in-law, he's in there. And Johnny Lenny, he's another son-in-law, he's in there.
CHK was on the air every day.
Radio broadcasting was brought into the North in the 1940s. CHK Aklavik linked the Mackenzie Delta with the rest of the world. Debbie Gordon talked with 3 elders who volunteered on the radio channel.
However, the frequency could be picked up as far away as Old Crow, Yukon, and Fairbanks, Alaska, as well as the communities surrounding Aklavik.
It wasn't very powerful, but it was strong enough to be heard as far as Fairbanks anyway. Because I remember one Christmas there when Cliff Moore was listening to some different radios on New Year's Eve, and so was Fairbanks, was listening to some different radio stations. They caught on to each other, they caught each other on their waves. And they were listening. I heard the announcer from Fairbanks saying that we could hear the people in Aklavik shooting off New Year's. We could hear the guns that was outside the station. And Cliff Moore was announcing that. And Cliff was announcing also to the announcer in Fairbanks, telling him that also Happy New Year. Our ICS TAMAPTA programs will begin broadcasting for an hour and a half, hopefully by the end of the 1988 broadcasting season. On behalf of ICS, we hope you enjoyed our productions.